Hey, hi, hello everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Saturday's Live. Let me get here. We will get started here in just a few minutes. As you guys are coming in, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, it really does help the channel grow. It helps me out. How's everybody doing? It's Saturday. Oh, and I did want to say, I want to start the live out by saying I'm really sorry to anybody that lives in Mississippi or in the surrounding areas, the states. I know you guys got hit with a hell of a storm. Yes, category 4. Leslie said, wow. You guys are okay? You're okay though, Leslie? Everything's okay? Everybody's okay? That's incredible. We got hit with a tornado here one year. I don't know what category it was, but it was like the big one. It was the biggest. It hit like down, it took like half of like the west side or east side of Dayton out. I don't know, like I'm not familiar with that area, but it took like all of that area completely out. And then like where we live, which is like 30 minutes from there, we got, our place was devastated. It was, so I can't even imagine what you guys are all going through. This was one that I slept through also. So I got to sleep through that. Thank my lucky stars for that. Did you sleep through it or were you awake? Leslie, let us know. Because I was asleep during our tornado. It was comedic to me because Vincent was here for the whole thing. So we got some people in the chat. I love it. We got a lot of members in the chat tonight to see. I love that too. I love that everyone is here. Oh, wow, you guys are just talking away. But you guys know I love y'all. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm just going through the chat. Man. Yeah, because you're not from around here, Isabel, so you didn't know. Well, hi, everybody. Hey to all the mods. Yeah, prayers for everybody. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Teresa. I see everybody's in here. I see there's a lot of people in here before. Did anyone have to go? Oh, Melissa said, see you guys at 8:15. That's so funny. You guys are sweet. I love that. So yeah, I would have been terrified if I would have been in a tornado that I could remember. I wish I had pictures of ours to pull up. I might have to look those up and find you guys some. Because and then Leslie will have to send me some from hers so we can compare. Because I slept through it and Vincent's from the West Coast, so he's used to earthquakes. He grew up like earthquake drills, you know. So when he moved to Ohio, he didn't sign up for Tornado Alley. Like, so when we got hit with a tornado, he said by the time that he got up, he went to put his pants on before waking me up. I'm not going to blame him for that. But he said by the time that happened, it was like over with. And then I think I don't even remember him waking me up that night. Man, I must have been really sleeping. Because I usually wake up with like a pin drop. But sometimes I will just, it'll hit me right and I'll be out. So Leslie, were you awake when it hit you guys? When the tornado hit you? Hurricane Ian went right through, in Coral, Florida. Oh, Oh, I shouldn't put that on there because Vincent will see that and he won't want to move to Florida ever. Just kidding. We're trying to find a good place if we wanted to move, and we're like, well, we don't want to be here because of this and there because of that. You know what I mean? Like West Coast earthquakes, South, you get like, hurricanes, but you could really be anywhere. Oh my gosh. Elliot said that I'm in Evansville, Indiana, and it rained so much here that our trash cans floated nearly a block down the street into our neighbor's yard. Several houses down. Oh my gosh, along with everyone else's trash cans. They were the trash pickup. Man, wow. Yeah, I saw some pictures and on the news today of the devastation, and it's like there's cars on top of just like wood that used to be a house. It's insane. Hi, Trina. So we are going to be talking about the Idaho 4 today. That's why I have them on the back there. If you weren't in our live last night, Scotty was found while we were on the live talking about Scotty Morris, the little boy out in Indiana, Eaton, Indiana, that went missing on March the 16th, which is my brother's birthday. That's really heartbreaking. But he was found like 2 miles, 3 miles from his home or something along those lines. I'm waiting to hear more news, but he was found. He was found with his mom. I don't know. It's going to be very weird. Oh, how are you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking me. Well, actually, I don't know. I wasn't doing very good. I'm doing better now. I think I lost my AirPods. And I hate to say this, but this is my 3rd pair. So I'm really mad at myself. I only get mad at myself because I never really lose anything. I really don't. Like, I don't. I put everything back where it goes because I'm blind. And like, I don't know, with being blind, if I lose something, it's almost like I lost a part of myself. Like, I will take it so like to heart, like, and it's just like AirPods. There's plenty out there, like plenty out there. Well, so I checked my phone, and what I think happened was I had him, because we went to Columbus today. That's like an hour and 15-minute drive. So I had him in on the way home because I don't want to bother Vincent with my YouTube stuff I'm watching. And I was watching, actually I was watching Grizzly, so he wouldn't have cared. But I was watching Grizzly and I had him in, and I think what I did was I took him out and I put him on my lap, which I need to put a sign downstairs because what I think happened was when I got out of the car, when I got home, was when they fell out of the car. And somebody around here, I don't know why they're not pinging because they're like, I don't know. It's just weird they're not pinging. But I don't know what to do about that. I lost a whole pair, like a whole set, like 2, way back like a few years or 4 years ago or something, 4 or 5 years ago. And then I got another pair like a few years ago, and I lost one. It was like last year because I was coming out of the dentist and I was having a really bad day and I was frantic, and it was like my franticness, I will lose something and then it's all over with. So it doesn't say that. See, that's the weird thing. It doesn't say they're in the house, but it doesn't say, like, it says the last time that they were connected was like a mile down the road, but that's when I took them out of my ears to put them in the case. And then I don't think it was really telling me where they were. I was like, it's not saying. Yeah, it just says today, and it won't even let me like play the sound. And it just says, yeah, it says directions, but like, I know it's not 1.5 miles. We looked in the car, we looked all around. I was crying. I was almost, okay, I was like almost in tears. Like I had a tear go down my eye. I wasn't like that, like, it wasn't overwhelming crying, but I was like, because it's something with being blind. It really is. And it's not like a big deal. I just need to tell myself that. But it's like when they're that expensive and, like, it's something with my eye. When I lose stuff, I just take it really hard. I'm really hard on myself, and I shouldn't be because, hello, they're just earpods. And Vincent said, I'll get you some more if you want. Like, it's fine. He's like, do you want to borrow mine? He has like huge headphones. I'm like, no. Really? My visual acuity is 200. Oh, wow. 20 over 200. Wow. I'm blind. Yes, I'm blind as well, Elliot. In my right eye, I'm completely blind. It's a prosthetic from a car accident. Wow. You were born with yours, though. Bless your heart. Well, you found the right place. You found the right place to hang out. I usually don't lose stuff. That's the thing about me. That's why I'm like so sad. Maybe I need to like get some wine to drink tonight. Just kidding. That would be so funny. You guys would have a heck of a time. I have literally so many videos to show you all. I don't even know what happened with Idaho 4. Like we only just didn't talk about it for a couple of days, and now I have a whole playlist, it seems like, for you guys. So I've watched all of these videos a couple times, but I think that we'll go over them together. And if someone does decide like they want to come up and say something, I do have some headphones I can use. They're like my airport headphones, I call them. So if I need to use those, they're like these Sony ones that like, I don't know, they bend. They're weird. Oh, you guys are sweet. Did they find Scotty? Oh, they did. Yeah, so Ray, they did. So they did find Scotty. We actually have a girl that's in, she's one of our, I think she's even a member. Selena, I don't know if she's in here tonight, but she's from the same town. And we were literally doing the live last night. And we had like 5 topics we were going over. We just happened to be talking about Scotty at the time. And she came in the chat and she was like, I think that they found him. And she's like, it's on Facebook. Like she's in a lot of the groups and stuff, and they were privated, but she was like trying to send messages and sent one to my email, and they found him. I was like, oh my God, that's incredible, isn't it? That's incredible. Like, I'm just glad that he's okay. And they have him with CPS right now. So they just didn't like let him go home with his mom and dad, which I think is a great idea as well, because this is a weird situation overall. And I feel like they wouldn't be doing their due diligence if they didn't keep him and maybe ask a couple questions, you know? So I don't know. Last night's live was good. I know, that's why I have so many more videos for you guys to watch tonight. Oh, and then so on tomorrow's live, I'm going to stream, because I can actually stream News Nation without them taking my live off. But I'm going to stream. They're doing some sort of Idaho special tomorrow night at 9:00. Ashley Banfield is. But she said it's like an Idaho special, and she took out the whole hour for it. So it's not like just like regular stuff that we normally watch, which I have so much. Oh, thank you, Trina. And she said, Tanya, if you were close to me, I'd let you borrow mine. I appreciate that. I don't really need them like for the live. If I do like open panel, I would. I have some I can use, but like, it's just something about losing something, you know? Just makes me so mad. It really does. That's like that is probably like one of my worst like characteristics I can say about myself. And I'm not very patient when it comes to standing in line. You'll never see me at a Six Flags, honey. What? Jan, you do not. Shut the front door. You have titanium screws in your head from brain surgery? Medal award goes to Jan. Bless your heart. My Lord, I didn't even know they could do that. I have them everywhere but my head. Wow, Jan. Man. And this is the channel. If you have something wrong with you, like traumatically, there's nothing wrong with any of us, but like more the welcome. You're more the merrier. You're welcome here, all that good stuff. Because literally, that's why my name's TitaniumBuilt, because I was a trauma channel before I was a true crime channel. So that's like awesome in a way. I'm sorry, it's not, but it is, but it's not. But I bet you get the worst headaches. Oh, his wedding means titanium, Margot said. I love that. That's a good idea. Wow. Anything that's titanium, I have to have it, which the next thing that's on the purchase list is I'm going to get a new watch, because they have the new titanium one. It's very large. Suzanne said I'm in the right place. You really are. I promise you guys. If you guys like true crime and trauma, maybe that should have been hey, that could have been like a cool channel name. True crime and trauma. I wouldn't have been able to say it with Tanya. That could have been something. Oh, wow. See, Tree Baby's got pins and plates in her arm. She feels cool now. Welcome to the cool crew. I had some in my arm, but that's the only part they took out. Susie Blue said I should write a book. I thought about it. I really did. I would need someone to help me. I feel like, but if I like would have someone to keep me focused on each chapter, so I didn't skip around so much. But yeah, I would love to probably write a book. That's serious. But I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm so glad you're okay. But like, it's, oh my gosh. And then here's Teresa. She says, I have a chemo port. Oh, honey. And Teresa never talks about her problems. She's got chemo. I mean, cancer. That's like, metal can't fix that. Oh, she said we have treasures in our body. I like that. I like that. We're going to get started, I promise. But the lady that when I first went to the hospital, I had to share a room. It was huge. Oh my God, it was so big and it was brand new and it was beautiful. It was a nice room. But I had to share this room and this woman was like 70 something, 75. And she had back surgery and had like staples because they put metal in. And oh my Lord, I felt so bad for her. And she was just the best though. She was just like, I'm ready to get out of here. I was like, she's like, I'm ready. I'm like, okay then. But she was awesome. I liked her. So first video, I have some stuff that I wrote down so I can remember each video because I have a ton of smaller videos to show you guys tonight. But first video is Banfield, of course. She's on a roll. I really love Banfield, but I don't want to know her sources, but I just want to know which family member she's talking to. Because she's kind of telling us without telling us at the same time. But apparently some of the family members are upset that the house is going to be demolished before the trial. We did do a live over the 3D imaging that they take at a crime scene and just how they collect evidence, and how they collected it in this case, and particularly. So let me know in the chat if you're watching on replay also. Yeah, #replay. What you think of them tearing down the house before the trial starts. And then you guys just let me know in the chat as well. You think it could be Xana's mom? Oh, pink butterfly. That's even better than what I thought. GP thought, okay, that's what I thought Goncalves. I'm like, somebody's talking. Someone's talking. Or Catherine Dry, or it's some BS or something. Or they're like piecing things together, like their own. They're doing something. I don't know. They're piecing it together. I don't know what they're doing because she's got a letter now. It's like, how y'all be getting the greatest news? But we will watch. I think Banfield is emotionally involved to GP. I didn't think that way really until till I started seeing these clips. Like, I love Banfield. I still love her. She's still my girl. I still got my Banfield, emoji. Love her. I do. I love her. But she really, I think, is invested. Like, over almost more than Bryan. And Bryan's actually been with the family and been more, I think, involved because he's actually been to the scene and stuff. But But no, I do love me some Ashley Banfield. But no, I think that she's just, yeah. And I don't know who, which like family member's talking, but she keeps saying family member. And I'm just like, who could it be? So I actually did some math today. It wasn't really math. I just counted some weeks. So the police, I didn't realize this until I counted. This case has been going on for such a long time. November 13th is when this happened. So the police had possession of the crime scene for 6 weeks and 5 days from 11/13 till 12/30/22. The defense had the crime scene for 11 weeks and 3 days. If we count from the first court date, and I believe that's when they caught her picture was around the 4th, where she was at the Idaho home. So the prosecution, the state had it for 6 weeks and 5 days, almost 7 weeks. The defense had it for 11 weeks. So if they wanted to get any evidence out of that house, they've had, I feel like, way more than enough time. That's just me though. So also on this video, 2 women come forward. They're supposed to be some experts, I guess. They're from Facebook. I don't know. They're from a Facebook group. So they talk about how they feel about the house being demolished. I don't know. You let me know what you think about them, ladies, because they're just like me and you. I mean, we're in Facebook groups and stuff. Well, I'm not in Facebook groups, but I'm on Twitter. So, same thing. But people are still coming to the house to do TikToks. Remember we went over that like a couple months ago, it seems like. Probably not a couple months ago. A month ago, probably. It seems like it's been a while, but I think you're right, Teresa. The judge probably needs to give clearance legally. I think that they should probably I feel like they should just give a little bit. I don't know. So, and then the jury walkthrough thing, I was going to save this to the end because there's another video, but there are so much biohazards in that home. You can't possibly take a jury in that house. Like, that is just too tainted. And they keep giving out the same 3 cases: Moselle, OJ, and Casey Anthony. Somebody else give me another case where they've been inside of a house, because those are all 3 outdoor. Like, they were outdoors, like, too, for the most part. So I feel like that, I don't know. I feel like it should just be taken down. Because if there's family members that are having a problem with the house being demolished, I want to know who the family members are. Like, that's just, I don't know. It's just too much of a biohazard to me. Hazmat suit. I mean, I don't see them gearing everybody up in those, though. I mean, and you got to think about it. Think about, that house is not that big in those quarters. Okay, altogether, it's big. But if you're standing in the kitchen, it's not big. If you're standing in that little corridor, the hallway to Zana's room, that is not big. You're not going to be able to fit 12 jurors, 6 alternates, a judge, and then the 2 lawyers at least. And then you have to have a couple of security with you. You just wouldn't even be able to bring them all in there. I wouldn't think. Huckleberry Hound, you can join the club. You're in it. You got a plate in your ankle. That's as good as it gets. I remember defect maybe I can join. You can join too. Everybody can join. I don't know. That's just my thought on it. I just would feel like that would be such a biohazard. Ooh, like trying to shuttle all those people. And then I feel like that would just be like devastating too for like I don't know. I think it's bad for the students to have to continue to see it. Like that blood is still going down that house. Like, it's still going. And like, they have to see that. I don't know. That would be traumatizing to me if I was a student there. My dad brought up this conversation. Scorpalina, hello. My dad brought up this case up in conversation the other day when I went to see him and did not realize the can of worms he opened. He asked how I knew so much about it. And I said, I have too much time. That's so funny. Well, that's good that he knew, though. That's something that you guys could talk about. I like that. Okay, so let me start with the videos because we got a ton to go through. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. And I'll be in the comments, too. So this one is going to be over what I was just kind of going over.
Some of the family members have told me they are very upset with the concept of the demolition taking place before the trial. They are concerned that if the jury wanted to go to the home to take, a view for themselves, listen for themselves, look for themselves between rooms, etc., that they won't be able to do that. So several of the family members said that they were concerned about this and that they actually reached out to the prosecutor about it to ask that it not happen. Other family members have said that's not how they feel. So there is a split among the family members about this potential demolition. And I only say potential because a court can always come in and compel. And I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But first, I want to bring in a couple of people who know a lot about how the public is responding to this. Christine Cameron and Alina Smith are the moderators of a very popular Facebook group, University of Idaho Murders Case Discussion. The group members, and I think, ladies, you're past 250,000 group members on the Facebook group. They have a lot of different opinions about not only the various aspects of the investigation and the prosecution of Bryan Kohberger, but they also have a very deep concern for the families who've been left behind. So Christine Cameron and Alina Smith, I'll put this out to you, Christine, first. What do you think that the general consensus is about the house coming down among your group?
I think that most of the students on our page feel that the house is creepy. It's spooky. They don't like walking by the house, and the constant daily reminder, they say it's triggering and they can't heal and it's difficult to move on. And many members on our page agree with their sentiments. However, the flip side of this is many worry about the ramifications of tearing down the house prior to the trial.
So, Alina, jump in on that point. What do they say? What are their specific concerns about the demolition prior to trial?
Hi, Ashley. I agree with Christine. That is the biggest consensus on our page. And everybody's saying that, I mean, it's pretty split, but I think most of it's like 60% towards have them leave it for the trial because, I mean, if you think back to all the other trials like OJ and even Moselle, Casey Anthony, they wandered and looked at the sites of the crime scene, and it's a lot to see the visual part of it, and it helps with the jury decision. And I think I was actually very surprised when you said that they don't consider it a crime scene. I did not know that. So when you said that just now, I was like, oh my gosh, to me that's shocking. So
Right.
I think that was too premature. And
I am just going to stop it there for a second, because how is she going to be this member of this 500,000 or whatever following? I can't remember the exact, or 250,000 following, and she doesn't realize that the house isn't a crime scene anymore. Like, I don't know. I feel like those are little details this lady she probably should have brushed up before she got in front of Ashley.
And that needs to be reconsidered. And like you mentioned, they can still, attest this in court, and I hope they do, because
So
it's
that
very important.
I have to say, honestly, I am parsing the words of the university as we spoke with them, and I was not 100% clear on it, because it literally says this: the house has been fully transferred to the university, and we are able to proceed with our plans to demolish at this point. They didn't answer the specific question we had, which was, has it now been declared free from being a crime scene? I just assumed that that's what that meant. We are able. So it's still, I think it's still up in the air with nuance. I'm not 100% sure, but I do want to ask you, Christine, jump in on this. We had reporting from the parking lot that there were kids coming by and doing TikTok dances. I mean, and not just once, that it was a repeated affair. There have been plenty of looky-loos, crime tourists who have come. Some of them are really quite lovely, and they leave a memorial or flowers behind. Others, pose and drive by, take pictures, and then, of course, the TikTok dancers. How does your group weigh in on what they're seeing in terms of the activity out in front of the house?
Ashley, I think that this case has been so big that so many people are interested and invested and in this story. And unfortunately, they want to be a part of it. And seeing the house, walking by, making videos, it's gross, it's disrespectful, but everybody, whether it's positive or negative, wants to be a part of this. And I would say that a majority of the people on our page don't condone that. They don't think that that's respectful in any way, shape, or form.
It is.
And
it's shameful. It's not just disrespectful and gross. It is so shameful, right?
Taking down the house, I also feel that it only benefits Bryan, because removing this so prematurely, you don't know what, the jury would want to see.
Yeah. I have only about 10 seconds left. Alina, is there a consensus among your group about what they'd like to see happen with the actual real estate, with the site?
Yes, so we did put that question out there, and I did want to mention the best idea that I read, and it was a satellite station for campus police or local police, and to include a center for personal safety education. And I thought that was a great.
That is delightful, and thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching.
Don't lie, Ashley Banfield. That sounds terrible. That sounds like a terrible, that doesn't sound fun. I'm sorry, but if you're going to take the house down, don't put something plain there. Don't put just some crap building in its spot for, like, I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought a lot of people said a memorial garden. I know they're doing one at the school. I thought a good idea would be like maybe a walkway for the students that was like well lit, because a lot of the students would travel, like they're traveling through those like back pathways. I think the students said that they actually would like a parking lot, because it's hard to get up to that back one in the wintertime. Like something like that with something pretty around it. I don't know. Yeah, the TikTokers, that is just on a whole new level of a low. Like, I think I said this when we talked about this on the live before. Like, I'm weird when people are watching me like take a picture of myself in the car, or if I'm like on the phone, or you know what I mean? I'm just real weird about stuff. And I'm a content creator. I should be like, cool with that. And I just get nervous. And these people are out doing full on dances. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think something positive would be nice. Yeah. Like a fountain, that would be pretty. And you could even do that and then give the students what they wanted too. Like even if they wanted a parking lot, do like half of it, and then just do like a memorial, like a little memorial garden or benches or something. I don't know. Oh, Michaela said, I wonder if the victims would find it disrespectful though. They all use TikTok like other students, and as long as their words aren't disrespectful, I think the victims might actually appreciate it. Yeah, I wonder what they're saying in those TikToks. I'm about to look that up. Like, what are you guys doing? Is it like transitional videos? I don't know. I don't think it's just like them reporting the news though. Oopsie. I didn't mean to hit the play on that. I was going to just share this one next. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that really does help the channel. It actually sends it out into the algorithm. More people will come in and enjoy it. There's Fred. I was actually thinking of you a second ago, Fred, because I saw that you were on here, and then you weren't on here when I got on. And then I forgot to say something. He popped out. He said he likes the garden idea. Sorry, my little clip's messing up. Yeah, it'll all work out. I think that, a dog park would be nice. I think that that's a fine idea. You could do a little Murphy's Park. I don't know. I just think that Murphy's cute. Someone said dog park named after Murphy. I didn't even see Summer said that. Y'all are having, that's a good idea. I didn't see that, and I said the same thing. I'm loving the dog park idea. I'm literally loving it. It's especially going to be loving that idea if that hair that they found that looked like a pet hair in Bryan Kohberger's apartment, if that does in fact come back to be Murphy's, then hands down. Oh, and I do have a question for you guys. Because I'm not good with flowers. If I were to buy some of Ethan's tulips, I think it's the bulb you get. I don't know if you get like the whole tulip and the bulb, but what I'm thinking is maybe it's the bulb. But do I, like in Ohio, they don't come up other than the spring, right? And if not, is there any way I can put it inside and keep it all year round? Or would it be better to take it out to California and plant it? Or is that too hot? I just gave you a whole lot to think about. I know, I'm sorry. The bulbs are where you get Teresa's on it. she knew it. Okay. Yeah, because like I wanted to get some. And I remember, okay, you plant the bulbs in the fall to bloom in the spring. Okay. Me and my mom have done it before together a couple of times. I just couldn't remember. And they're not that much. I think it's $25. I'm not sure exactly how many you get, but. So I was thinking, and that's what I was going to say too, Michaela. She kind of beat me to it. I was going to say that they did the walkway thing. I said this on another live. They should put one of those emergency like telephone kind of deals in there where, even though it's off campus, because they probably have those on campus, just it's like right off of campus. So I think that would be good. Just a little extra security. She said, I think after the trial, or they should put a campus security station so the students can feel a little safer. Plus, it's right outside the university, so hopefully it might save other students in the future. So you get them, and it's called Ethan's Flowers. Let me see here. I forget the tulip farm for some reason. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. Is this? Yeah, Tulip Valley. Yeah, tulipvalley.com. And they're not ready, I don't think, quite yet, but they will be soon. Oh, okay, so they need to be dormant to bloom again. Man, you guys are on it. I'm like not good. Oh, I'm not good with flowers or plants. But I have some. I have an olive tree. I have some weird stuff. I got this bush thing that looks like that was like a Christmas tree thing that we got last year. So Bryan Enton's back. I don't know if I say his name right. Every time I say his name, I say that too. So take a drink every time I say Bryan Enton wrong. So in the second video here that I'm going to show you guys, which I like him in green. He looks nice in green. They talk about retrieving, more furniture out of the house for the families. She said olive tree sounds cool, Kathy. Yeah. So I had fake olive trees in my old boutique that I worked at. And so instead of getting like a fake one they're like $150, it's ridiculous for a fake tree. We got a real one. So we just got a real one. It's inside. I don't know how big it's going to get. They don't get too big, but like, I don't know. I might have to plant it somewhere. But I wonder how the bulbs would do out in California too, because I might send some to Vincent's mom. She likes to plant stuff. She has a lot of gardens. Also, in this video, they're going to talk about Ann Taylor, how Ann Taylor had put, the stop out for the cleaning crew. Remember, the cleaning crew was coming in to clean the house. It looked like that one day they were going to like start taking out large furniture, and maybe like mattresses and stuff that day, but they shut it all down within like 30 minutes, I think it was. I think we were actually streaming that live when they did that. Because I remember they put up the tarp and everything around the door, and then they literally packed it all up and was like out of there. Those guys were ready to leave. So that's what they go over in this video here. So I'll play this one here.
Yeah, it was very, very sad, Ashley, just because we had been so into the investigation of the case at that point, and it was just a very human moment then seeing the victim's items brought out. But you'll notice the U-Haul truck, which the police chief was driving, by the way, and it was police officers who were working the case who were bringing the items out, so it was emotional for them too. But you'll notice that U-Haul, it wasn't a very big U-Haul, so it clearly wasn't all of the items that belonged to the kids inside the house. It was just some of them. Which explains why there are more items in the house and why likely the families are going to want to retrieve some more of those items. So, couches, we did see the mattresses come out at one point, but couches, other pieces of furniture, all sorts of stuff. Again, you see how small that U-Haul was. You can just imagine all the other items that are still left behind there.
So, Bryan, on December 30th, that was the day that Bryan Kohberger was arrested. Within hours of his arrest, his public defender, Ann Taylor, put out a request to stop all remediation, all cleaning. And at that time, I remember us seeing these privacy curtains going up, and it looked as though they were going to empty out, big items, and then that immediately stopped. But there were big items that were still unloaded. What was the progression of that? And what happened with whatever was taken out of the house after the video we just showed?
Yeah, so there was that initial time where you just saw where the chief of police backed the U-Haul in and they took out a number of the personal items and then returned those to the families. Then there was another time that they went to the house and started removing other items. The mattresses were really the most visual thing that we could see. They were putting them in the back of pickup trucks. They were really starting to clear out the house, or at least start the process to do that. And that is when they immediately halted it. The public defender asked for it all to be stopped, which is really, really interesting because they were in the middle of doing it and they just shut the whole thing down. Exactly what was going on behind the scenes was still sort of unclear. It appears perhaps the public defender wanted an opportunity to really look through the house before things were moved around too much. But all of that stuff before they could get it out was left inside, which again explains why they now have to go through this process now and remove all the additional items from the house.
I can understand that. I want to end our discussion just with an answer that the university gave us when we asked if this is officially no longer a crime scene, because we have not had that announcement made by the police that was it a crime scene, and has the title transferred. And they kind of gave us a half answer, Bryan. Do you have the letter in front of you, the executive director of communications?
Yeah, I have the quote here. And essentially, they said that it is no longer a crime scene, but basically said the house has been fully transferred to the university and we are able to proceed with our plans to demolish at this point. All parties are aware of our intentions to demolish the building as quickly as possible. And obviously, you read the letter, so we know the families received.
I'm trying to see something. Sorry, guys. Okay. Because I was talking about that trash the other day not being picked up downstairs. And somebody was like, no, they picked it up before they put the fencing up. But I don't think they did. Because I think it's right there. Yeah. So the trash is still on the ground outside. I'm not sure who said that. Someone commented that. Well, hot damn. Why didn't they take the trash? I mean, is it me? Is that just weird to me? That the cops didn't take the trash? Like, I mean, it was literally that. Okay, so that trash can was upright when this whole thing first happened. That trash can was upright beside the back door. Then there was a bag of trash beside it. Like, if you're running away from a crime scene and let's just say you have a bloody knife, who's to say you wouldn't just slide it down into the trash can on your way out the back door? Like, I don't know. I just would feel like you would take the trash. Maybe I need to go to Idaho and get the dang trash. I'm so upset about it. I am so like caught up on this trash, but I don't know. To me, that's just, you would think that you would if you're taking everything inside the crime scene, you take stuff outside. So maybe I am wrong. Maybe they do need to keep the house up.
The building as quickly as possible. And obviously you read the letter, so we know the families received that letter, but it is officially no longer a crime scene. You see it's boarded up. There's still a security car outside, but it fully belongs to the university now. They've said they want to destroy it by the end of the semester, and it seems that that's really like imminent at this point.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
Did you guys see the porter potty outside that they have for the officer? Wouldn't that be in a compromising position? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. Oh, Teresa, feel better. If you need anything, message me. And I meant to message you, Summer, before I got on the live. You feel better. If you need anything, Teresa, just let us know. We'll be praying for you. Aww. She never really leaves. She usually doesn't feel that bad. She better feel better. Oh, your clocks go forward tonight, Isabel? So Isabel's time is different than ours. So Summer's like, what is happening? So Teresa left the chat. She's going to go and lay down because she doesn't feel very good. And then Isabel is changing her clocks forward. See, I can handle the ADHD in the chat. Yeah. Oh. Teresa always feels good. Well, I mean, I know she probably never feels good, but she always puts a brave face on. You know? She always does. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did it here 2 weeks ago. So Isabel's from Scotland. So they're like behind or something. I don't know how it works. But you're really ahead, aren't you? In the future? 5 hours ahead? I don't know. I'm not good with the time zones. I barely got the ones on the United States down. I'm Eastern Standard Time, by the way. If I sometimes forget to put that in chats and on my stuff sometimes. So I know Teresa's usually really good, though, about letting you guys all know. So, yeah, Brenda, chemo is hard. Oh, yeah. So, Elliot, so Teresa is one of our mods, and she is like Mother Teresa here. Oh, Huckleberry Hound. But nothing better happen to Teresa, or I'll be devastated. I already told Vincent that. I said, if anything were to happen to my chat, or like, you know, I was like, you guys are like my peoples. Like, I mean, I know when you guys are not here, like if you are gone for a couple days, I'm going to watch out. I'm going to be looking for you. Isabel can't even leave the chat for 5 minutes, and I wonder where she is. It's happened before. Like, I was like, oh my God, where is Isabel? And she literally had just posted in the chat like 3 minutes prior. You know, you just know when people are missing. You just know. So the third video, I got so many. I got all these videos. So this one is going to be about, she's going to read Ashley Banfield is going to read a letter from the acting general counsel for the University of Idaho. She said that this letter was given to her. I believe, I don't know if it was given to her, but I'm thinking it was given to her by one of the victim's family members. And if it was, like, after you guys listen to it, let me know what you guys think of the letter that she reads. Because if she's getting this letter from like a family member and they're in a gag order, I don't know how that works. You know, I don't think the state is going to be too happy that that's happening. So, oh my gosh, Melissa, what are you going to school for? She says, I'm here listening. We'll be in and out of chatting. I'm writing an essay for one of my classes while listening. Oh my gosh, I know, Summer. I got Banfield on some really good, like, her faces are just great tonight. Skittles, where are you? Skittles, where'd you go? It's 2:06 p.m. there. It's Sunday. Oh, Skittles. So it's Sunday at 2:06 p.m. Wow, it's so weird. That's so weird to me. I haven't got used to that. Because I'm not going to lie, I didn't even know that was like I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that, I mean, that might sound dumb, but I never knew that. I never knew that. So let's hear. Yeah. So no, she's going to talk about, you know, that letter. And then they talk about how they're going to clean the house up. And then they're going to transfer personal items to the victims and the victims' families. And I'm sure that Dylan and Bethany's items were all secured in that house as well. And so I'm sure that they're going to get their items back. I think they said that they're going to take them. I'm not sure if it's in this video or not, but they're going to take them, like everything that's salvageable, they're going to take it out like they did, you know, before with the U-Haul. And then they're going to take it to a secondary location and allow the families and probably Bethany and Dylan, you know, the victims and survivors or whatever, the survivors, let them come in and get the rest of their belongings that they're able to get. Which Bethany should have no problems probably saving all of her items, and Dylan as well. So,
to you, word for word, without any. I just want to read this letter to you, word for word, without any editing. Okay, it begins this way. I am the acting general counsel for the University of Idaho and oversee the legal services for the university. I first want to express my condolences to each of you for the tragic loss that you've suffered. I greatly appreciate the positive manner in which you have interacted with the university in the aftermath of this tragedy. I am writing to communicate to each of you regarding the university's plans for the house at 1122 King Road. As was conveyed to you by Dean of Students Blake Eccles, the homeowner gifted the house to the university with the intent by both parties that it be demolished. Before doing so, we will complete remediation within the house to address biohazards and chemical hazards that exist as a result of the crimes and ensuing investigation. At the completion of the remediation, we intend to have the remediation team gather any items of personal property that do not appear to be contaminated and transfer them to university personnel who will take these items to a secure off-site location for representative members of the families to review and recover items of your family members that you wish to keep. Items not selected will then be properly disposed of. This will not apply to large, bulky items such as sofas, beds, or the like, to the extent that any remain on site. If you have specific items you wish to be on the lookout for, regardless of size, please let me know. If we can locate and retain them for you, we will. We intend to proceed with demolition as soon after completion of the remediation as can be done. We do not yet have a specific date for when this will occur. We will notify you of the demolition date in advance so you are not caught by surprise by media reports. In the interim, we are making every effort to respect the dignity of your loved ones, and our activities will be done outside of media scrutiny as much as possible. The house is currently surrounded by construction fencing. The windows and doors have been securely boarded, and we are not allowing access into the house by anyone not specifically authorized by the university. Anyone authorized to enter the house will be required to agree to strict non-disclosure and will be prohibited from taking photographs or otherwise recording the inside. This communication constitutes the university's formal notice to you of our intention to proceed with remediation and demolition as described above. If you have any concerns with these plans, please contact me by April 3rd of 2023. We will address those prior to proceeding. If you have retained legal counsel, I encourage you to share this communication, notifying you of the proposed plans. You or your counsel may contact the Office of General Counsel via email, that's redacted, or call me at the phone number listed below, which I've redacted, to discuss any concerns or objections that you may have. Once again, I want to express my deepest sympathy and my condolences to each family member. It is my hope that the university's plan to remove the house helps you in your healing. A reply indicating you have received this email would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find.
I think they're writing the families this time and like trying to make sure that they're gonna let them know when the house is coming down, because I think of the way that the families were notified of the students' deaths or lack thereof in the beginning. So I think that's probably why they're being a little more transparent now, which I mean, they should know first and foremost when the house is coming down. I wonder when they're going to do it for sure. Oh, is it going by fast? Yeah, plus, yeah, tag Elliot, because it's probably easier for you to see too. I didn't think about that. I have like a huge monitor that I use my MacBook over here, but it's like 32 inches. I don't know. It's huge. Thing's huge. It's like a TV. It helps a little. And then I have to have my iPad here. It's weird. YouTube's weird. It's just weird. You did, Frank, and they did. Yes, we went over that in the beginning of the live. It was devastating. Absolutely. You don't think the gag order will be lifted after the trial? It might even come down harder. I don't know. I don't know what they should do in that case, you know, and with the gag order. I mean, Bryan Kohberger isn't talking, but he's able to if he wants to. But the Gonzalez family, in the same sense, they are not supposed to be talking. Like, to me, that doesn't seem fair. But if Bryan Kohberger would want to come out and be like, hey, I want to say something, everyone would be like, oh, yeah, you talk away. You know, I don't know. I think it would be hard if it's, I don't know how tight the gag order is, but if it's tight enough to where it's like they can't even go out in public and do regular grocery shopping without people coming up and trying to talk to them about the case, to where if they have to like leave instead of just being like, I can't talk about it, then that'd be hard to deal with. The cars were crazy. There was cars on top of homes. I wonder if he'll confess before trial, Susie Blue said. I wonder that too. Because there's more, I mean, and we'll get to that video shortly. There's, you know, they're coming back with the firing squad. So it may change his mind. It might change my mind if I was him. So this one we watched. Oops. I promise I've got like, these are all like short videos. I don't know why they do this to us. But I'm going to exit out these. I'm actually going to check something real quick too. I'll check on Scotty Morris just to make sure there's nothing on. Oh, wait. Okay. So don't forget to like the video. If you could, please like the video. I would love you for that. We're going to do a Scotty Morris update really quick. It's only going to take about 30 seconds, but I just want to let you guys know. Scotty Morris, I'm going to share this with you right here. This was just an hour ago that Eaton Police sent this out. It says, officers with Eaton Police Department and the Delaware County Sheriff's Department have been conducting interviews most of the day. There were 2 individuals brought in for questioning. However, they have since been cleared of involvement with any part of this case. The Department of Child Services is assisting Scotty. The family is continuing to cooperate with every aspect of the investigation. So, and that was the last update. So I just wanted to let you guys know that there was an update. Because I'm just still thinking of that kid. And he's found, but I'm still like, what's going on with him? He's got so many people that care about him, you know? And it's crazy, like, he didn't realize, I don't think he realized that before, so. Let's see, what's the next one? Oh, so Ashley brings on a defense attorney to come and talk about the house coming down and if they involved the family in the overall process. Ashley asked her if the state could renew the motion to compel like preservation of the house, like of the crime scene. And she said that it is possible that they can do that if they needed to preserve it for, trial or something. Oh, I have to check my email. Thank you, Leslie. I have to check my email. I haven't checked it today, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I checked my email today. Next Idaho death sentence to be carried out has been on death row for 40 years. Wow, it's a long time. Easy. They do sit on there a long time, it seems like. See, I heard that too, Kathy. I heard that they came for a disturbance. Now, I was listening to Grizzly, and when she read it, and then she got me kind of confused because I think it was a semi. Did they find him in a semi-tractor trailer, like a trailer like that? Or was it a trailer, like a mobile home trailer? If anyone can answer that, if they know, if they've heard. Because on Grizzly's channel, she was, I think, getting confused. And then it kind of got me confused because I was half asleep. Like I was trying to take a little nap on the way home. So if someone could just answer that in the chat, that'd be great. But yeah, I hope that Scotty is taken care of. And it seems like right now he is. So yes, Grizzly. Yes, that's where you saw it too. Okay. So was Scotty found, that's my question. So was Scotty found in a semi, like, a semi truck, or was it oh yeah. Oh, so yes, it was a semi truck. Cause you could live up in one of them. My uncle's, it has a bed and everything. My uncle drove one for like 30 years. But where did he go to the bathroom? And he was found in the same clothes. Oh, a post did say he was in a semi-trailer. Okay, Jan. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at that part. Oh, that's crazy. That's just... What was he doing? For 9 days. Almost 9 days. I'm just... Hi, back to good. If I didn't say hi to you, I meant to. I smiled in the chat. Like sometimes I feel like people know that I'm smiling at them. Yeah, I heard he was talking to his mom. Oh, like a contractor's trailer? See, that's what I'm getting confused about because I don't know if it was because like when I heard it on Grizzly, she was talking about semi-trailer and then she was talking about trailer. So then I was really confused. I'll have to look it up. I'll look it up maybe while we're watching this video. Maybe I can find out what it'll say. So we'll listen to her. This is Ashley Banfield, of course, again. I don't even know why I gotta say anything. We know who she is. She's talking to this criminal defense attorney, though. I'm not sure what her name is, though.
Does Jessica ever really listen to the family members when it comes to what they want with a crime scene like this?
Well, absolutely listen to what the victims want. And thank you for having me. I think in this case, when it comes to preserving evidence, this is really going to be a decision of the attorneys, whether it's the defense or the prosecutor, when they're looking at their case and what's necessary in order to preserve the evidence in the case. I think you're right. When you were talking earlier about how there was a motion in December to preserve the evidence that was filed by the defense in this case, it actually lapsed on February 1st. And so that's probably why the university feels that they are now available to go ahead with any sort of actions with regard to the house. Because from what I can tell, that order has not been renewed to preserve the evidence. And I do think either side could, I'm sorry? Yes.
Can it be? Can the prosecutor, renew a motion to compel preservation, or even the defense for that matter? I mean, right now we know that some of the family members have asked the prosecutor. Can they compel the university to keep it standing?
I do believe they could, yes. I believe that either side could renew that motion. It said until further order of the court. And so I think the court was contemplating that that wouldn't necessarily be the end, but neither side has. And I don't know, I mean, as far as I can tell, there's a lot in this case, as you know, that's been sealed. And so it's a little bit difficult to tell exactly what's been filed. But from looking at the I-Court's printout of the case history, from what I can tell, neither side has raised that issue since it lapsed. And so my thought is neither one of them seems to believe at this point that they do need that evidence, or I would think they would have filed that motion. As you stated when you were talking about crime scene, it is still a crime scene, obviously, in the sense that this is where the crime occurred. There's going to be evidence there, whether they've come in and cleaned out some of that, how much of that has been removed or not. There's still some evidentiary value there, as you stated. I think there's huge value in just looking at the layout of the house, all those things.
Help me with this. Help me with the wording, because we were very specific in asking the university if they were told by the Moscow police that this crime scene has been cleared. And there's a big difference, right? Like, you can move back into your house, you can drive through this intersection, you can now, it's now good to go, we're done. And they didn't answer that. They just said, we can proceed. Are you able to read in as an attorney what that meant?
Well, I think we can proceed just means there is nothing prohibiting them at this point in time legally from doing what they want with the house. And that's what and I'm sure they're having some communications with the attorneys in this case about what's appropriate and about what they may or may not need. You have two very qualified attorneys. I have a lot of respect for Bill Thompson. I've known Bill Thompson. I used to work not in the same office, but when I was a city prosecutor, he was the county prosecutor in Moscow. He was very well respected then. I don't know Ann Taylor, but I understand she's very well qualified. So both of these attorneys are in a good position to communicate with the university. And I think what they have to say would matter quite significantly. I mean, this is a very important case to this university, and the university president cares a lot about what's going on with this case and the impact this is having. So I really do think that those communications are probably happening, and it's probably respectful on both sides.
Jessica, thank you so much for being on. I want to invite you back so we can have a further conversation about how jury visits change the dynamic of a verdict, because I think that it can go several different ways. And you and I can have that conversation at another time, but I do appreciate this tonight. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said before, I don't think that the house demolition or demolishing the house will jeopardize the trial in any way. So do you guys think that, I know we're having two different conversations here. We're doing Scotty in the chat and we're doing Idaho on the screen, but this is going to be really probably out there. And I mean, I don't even know why I'm even thinking this could be a possibility, because I don't know who would do this and I still think it's really wrong. But do you think that the father, because he's been absent, I don't know where he's at, but if I'm taking up for the mom for a second, just 1 second, because you guys, I haven't given her a break at all. Do you think that she would hide him, trying to get him away from his father? But that doesn't make any sense, because why not just call the cops? I'm trying to figure out how she knew where this kid was, but still went 9 days without getting him. Do you know what I mean? Is there's something up with that? If she knew where he was, why didn't she get him? Or did she just find out? And then but why would she be so mad? You know, like, it's crazy. So the mom does have social media. Let me see. Her name's Felicia too, I think. Felicia. I heard she has Facebook, but I'm guarantee it's probably privated now because of everything. Yeah, I heard that he was visiting his other kids, Jan. I heard that too from the daughter. I heard dad has transferred truck. Oh, this whole thing is nuts. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they kicked him out. Yeah, maybe. But like the twin, like his twin sister, like the way she was saying stuff, she was just like not being cool at all. Like, no offense to her. Like, I know she's 14, but like we were reading through some of the chat that she wrote, and it was like he was a bad boy and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my Lordy. I really thought I was going to be in Indiana this weekend looking for a kid. But I mean, it was literally like he just came home. Oops. And it was like, there he is. I'm going to share this tab with you guys. It was public. Oh, it was public yesterday. Maybe she doesn't know how to switch it. Did the mom do this to get back at the dad? Maybe. Definitely. There's something definitely off. You're right, Melissa. There's something definitely off in that home. I just wonder what their test results were like when they came back for, the lie detector. Yeah, he's safe. CPS needs to make sure he stays that way. What's so weird to me is they didn't take the other kids though, right? The other kids are still in the home. So it's like, that's true, yeah. I'm wondering, like, why didn't they take all of them out? Because his sister seems real angry for some reason. I mean, I'm just going by the TikToks that she was posting and her own words. I know everybody takes grief differently. Believe you me. I have dealt with a lot of trauma and grief in my day. But I've never said, well, he was a bad boy. I don't know. They were like attacking him from every which direction. And no wonders why I'm thinking he wanted to run away. If he did run away, which I'm thinking he probably did now. She seems bitter. Yeah, Melissa, you're right. She does seem bitter. She seems bitter. Summer says something's up for sure. I think so too. Man, Scotty, let us know. Let us know, Scotty. This is so this video is really weird. It's like they must not have did their research or something, because this one with Danny Abrams, but yeah, I don't know. 9 days. Can you imagine being in a semi truck for 9 days? I can't even get over that. Being in, or even in anywhere, just in a trailer by yourself for 9 days. 14-year-old kid. He has to be real introverted to be able to sit still for that long in the same clothes, unless he had other clothes and then he put those clothes back on right when he was caught. But that doesn't make any damn sense that he would do that. Yeah, photoshopped. Yeah, those pics are photoshopped. A lot of the creators didn't want to put like that stuff, like the shirt with him on it out. Like I know in my thumbnail, it was blurred. Like the shirt was blurred. But then I showed you guys on the live. Yeah, I don't think he was alone either. Yeah, no, I think that's because, well, they were all saying, well, maybe he's at someone's house and they're on vacation. I'm like, but it's been 9 days almost. Wouldn't he have ate him out of like house and home? He's a teenage boy. So the next video here, Dan, he must not have did his research or something, because this is about execution by firing squad. They did bring that back as the part of the death penalty. The governor, Brad Little, he signed a bill into the law allowing for the firing squad to come back. The legislator passed the bill on March 20th. This video was just done 3 days ago. So, and we knew for 5 days. So I'm like, Dan, did you guys not do your due diligence before you made this video? What happened to writing? I won't do it 500 times. I know, like, really hurt your hand for a minute, you know, but you learned. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was even bringing it back to when I was in elementary school. This was before I was in elementary school, because it never happened to me. But I heard that at that elementary school, they used to give kids whippings. Like when you were back in the 70s, maybe even 80s, I don't know, but 70s, 60s, in Ohio and these schools out here, they whip your butt. You get in trouble in school, like they take a ruler to your butt. How's everybody doing that's in their, what would be like 60s now, 50s? How's everybody doing? Has everybody got their crap together? Let's see. Let's see who has it. I don't know. Yep, 3 swats, Mike said. See, because I heard a teacher that still taught at our school did that, and I think I was terrified of her after that. Because they said that they would take him like in this certain room behind the gym, and I was just like, oh, that sounds scary. Lashings, yes. Some people, parents, they would just have you pick your own switch out on the backyard. Go get your own. I've never had a whooping in my life, so I couldn't imagine when my parents said that to me. Because I would just be like laughing so hard. But I heard that, I've had friends that they're like, their parents are like, go get the twigs out, or like, your switch outside, and they would get them. We used to get paddled in the 6th grade, see, in the 80s, see, and I'm like a 90s, so I knew I was around my time. Because I remember hearing this story. That was Miss Daugherty. I'll never forget her. I was terrified of that teacher. So yeah, he says in the beginning, like, could Bryan face the firing squad, but we know he can now if they seek the death penalty. Now, do you guys think that they'll seek the death penalty in this case? I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on it. You had to crawl on your knees in 3rd grade with one teacher, Susie Blue. Oh my gosh. I got weapons in school. Man, you guys all went to the crazy schools. My nephew took a weapon into a school one time. It was by accident. It wasn't by accident, but he didn't realize what he was doing. It was a pellet gun. It was a bad day. Let's just say my sister, I don't happen to be there. My sister-in-law was not having it. Hi, Arlene. Oh, look at that. See, the worst thing that we had was our strips pulled. Like, remember the colored strips, like the green ones and stuff? Like, that's what's wrong with the kids today. They don't get paddled at school. Spank their butts at school again, guys. Just kidding. Don't cancel me. Don't come for me. I'll go ahead and play this for you guys. Oh, let me unpause it.
Being executed by a firing squad. The governor there is poised to sign a measure approving it as a method of execution for death penalty inmates. We still have no formal word on whether prosecutors will seek the death penalty in Bryan Kohberger's case, but the grisly nature of the murders and multiple victims suggests prosecutors will at the least be considering it. Kohberger, accused in the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students, currently waits behind bars in Idaho's Leda County Jail for his preliminary hearing in June. Idaho, the latest state moving to allow this form of execution. Mississippi, Utah, Oklahoma have laws allowing it, but only if other methods of execution are not available. South Carolina also has a law that's currently on hold pending outcome of a legal challenge. Right now, in the 24 states that have the death penalty, lethal injection has been the predominant method used, but a growing number of pharmaceutical companies are barring the use of their drugs to execute prisoners, saying the drugs were meant to save lives, not take them. And that's making lethal injection executions difficult. Republican State Senator Doug Ricks, a co-sponsor of the Idaho bill, says the state's difficulty in finding lethal drugs could continue indefinitely. Now, there's a debate about how painful a firing squad is, with some saying that firing squads actually would be quicker and cause less pain than lethal injections, others saying it prolongs the pain. But regardless, if Idaho isn't able to get the drugs it needs and Kohberger is convicted and sentenced to death, it looks like he could end up being one of the first in the state to have a date with a firing squad. Joining us now is Bruce Skog, the Republican Idaho state representative who sponsored the bill in the state house allowing firing squad executions in Idaho. Thanks very much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Where does this stand and when might it go into effect?
I do hope that the governor will sign this bill within the next few days, and then it would become law in Idaho, and it would take effect on July 1st, 2023.
And would that mean that it would only apply to crimes committed after that point, or could it just be for sentencing that are occurring after that point? So in the Kohberger case, let's say he hasn't been sentenced yet as of July 2023, but the crime had been committed before then. Could he be subject to that law if it's passed on the date you're suggesting?
It would apply to those on death row. It would apply to anyone convicted thereafter, even though the crime was committed earlier.
Got it. So how much trouble is the state having in getting the lethal injection drugs?
It is, in fact, impossible. We cannot get the drug. We could not carry out the death penalty. And our preference is for lethal injection. But if we can't do that, then this is the best course that we can take to carry out justice.
Did Bryan Kohberger have anything to do with the decision to go this route?
Not at all.
So this was in consideration well before this case ever came to light?
Yes, we've been trying to carry out the death penalty, which is justice for those who have murdered in the first degree.
I watched this twice before. Look at Dan Ambrose' face. And Dan just asked him seriously. Dan just seriously asked this guy, did they bring back the death penalty or the firing squad just for Bryan Kohberger? No one's going to do that. This is America. This is not the wild, wild west anymore, guys. You know, but I did hear that they may never get the drugs back for the death penalty or for the lethal injection. And I didn't realize that it was like that much of a shortage, because I never hear anyone like in Texas or Florida complaining, you know, but apparently there is a shortage, and they might not be able to, like, I don't know if it's making it or getting it or what. But if you guys had to choose, would you, if you had to choose one, firing squad or lethal injection? I couldn't even imagine either choosing one or the other, but I don't know. I think I would want the lethal injection. I don't know. Shit, I don't know. The pharmacy doesn't want to make the drug. Oh, that's what it is, Jan. You're right. Did we look that up, or did I look that up on my own? We might have looked it up together. But I did see that they were like opposed to making it because they use it for this purpose. Firing squad. Lethal injection, Lori said. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe the fire, but there's only one silver bullet. There's only one, bullet in there. Yeah, no, oh my Lord. You wouldn't even be able to get me out there. I have anxiety like a chihuahua. Like, I mean, I am like anxious like those dogs. Uppity uppity. Fire up old Sparky. I would almost, I don't even know. No, I wouldn't want that either, because but I think injection, and I think I say that because I'm used to getting like shots and stuff. But good thing we never have to worry about that. Never have to worry about any of y'all out there. Nah. Yeah, Kathy says, I do have anxiety. Yeah. No, like I think that What would your last meal be? Ooh. I'd think about that one because you do get to pick what you get. I wonder if he thinks about that. I mean, that's really what you have to look forward to once you're on death row, is your last meal. That's what I thought, Arlene. The pharmacies refuse to make them as they're against the lethal injection. But you would think that they would want to make it to where, like, they don't try to get it from somewhere else and it's, like, not good. Yeah, exactly, Scorpelina. You don't get the choice once. Yeah, I mean, and he'll say it in a minute. He'll say, is it based on when the crime was committed? And they're going to say no. Whatever they got for him is what they got for him.
Agree for quite some time.
Now, what do you make of those who say it's archaic and inhumane to use a firing squad?
There have been 144 executions by firing squad in the history of our country, and it is humane because it is certain. There's no lingering. Death occurs usually within about 10 seconds from the experts I've read.
And with lethal injection, are you saying that there's more potential complications?
Well, there's certainly the complication of not being able to get the drug to carry it out, but there have been complications with lethal injections that we don't like.
Yeah. And no one in the legislature has been discussing this in the context of the Kohberger case. Is that correct?
Correct.
Even though it could end up applying to him. All right.
Well, certainly his name comes up as a potential, but has nothing to do with why the bill passed.
Got it. Bruce Skog, thank you very much for coming on the program. Really appreciate it. Sign a measure.
So, you know how, like, why are we talking like we're on death row, Summer said. So what about, like, so I was gonna say this part. What, I wonder if you are allowed to watch. Like, because, like, if you do the lethal injection, the family gets the option, the victims get the option to come in and sit and watch in the gallery or whatever. Is it like, I mean, how does that work? Yeah, you're true. That's true, Janet. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, like, because I think, with me thinking that, oh, you can watch, Mike. Oh, okay. Well, then I'm sure everyone would be fine with them doing that. So, yeah, I just didn't know, like, if the witness could be just like another officer. I don't know. There's only one bullet that's real. Like, and you don't know who it is. Oh man, I don't know. They said 10 seconds, but I think that's probably about the same. Yeah, they probably all aim for the dome. Oh, well, I'm glad we're not bad people. So, okay. Glad we're not bad people, over here. This isn't the same. Let's see where we're at. I always get them in their best looks. Okay. Let me see. Where were we at? Oh, so this is actually Bryan Eaton comes back on. And I didn't know that he had a boyfriend. I didn't know that. Lucky guy. Bryan has, like, perfect teeth. He's got really nice teeth. The dude is a cutie. There goes, I guess, my chance, Just kidding. So we're going to watch Dan Abrams here. He's going to talk to Bryan Eaton. And they are going to talk about, I think he's a little confused in this because he talks about how the family doesn't / can't say anything. But then in another breath, he says the school directly reached out to them, like out to the family. So if everyone's supposed to be under this gag order, I'm just wondering who's spilling the tea, who's letting it go. So let me play this for you guys.
For parents of the 4 Idaho murder victims, the pain lingers. And yet, now they aren't even allowed to speak publicly about their feelings for fear of violating a gag order. And yet there's a lot of news about issues that directly impact them. For example, the student's house on King Road, News Nation getting a hold of a letter sent by university administration conveying this to the families of the victims. The letter from the acting general counsel for the University of Idaho reads in part, I first want to express my condolences to each of you for the tragic loss you've suffered. It goes on to say, I'm writing to communicate to each of you regarding the university's plans for the house at 1122 King Road. The homeowner gifted the house to the university with the intent by both parties that it be demolished. Before doing so, we will complete remediation within the house to address biohazards and chemical hazards that exist as a result of the crimes and ensuing investigation. Adding, at the completion of the remediation, we intend to have the team gather any items of personal property that do not appear to be contaminated and transfer them to university personnel who will take these items to a secure off-site location for representative members of the families to review and recover items of your family members that you wish to keep. We intend to proceed with demolition as soon after completion of the remediation as can be done. We do not have a specific date for when this will occur. We'll notify you of the demolition date in advance so you're not caught surprised by media reports. The university has said the sooner they demolish the house, the better, and they plan to have it knocked down by the end of the semester, which according to the university's academic calendar, graduation's on May 13th. Now, Bryan Kohberger is not due to be back in court until June for his preliminary hearing, so by then, the house could be gone. But there are questions over whether this speedy removal of the home, which is a crime scene, is a good idea. Some say the house should stay up throughout the trial. It's a key piece of evidence, and as News Nation first reported last night, the parents that we spoke to seem to want the house to stay up, at least for now. But others argue that a virtual tour of the property will be sufficient for a jury to see in weighing the case. Remember, in the recent Alex Murdaugh double murder case, before the trial wrapped, the jury visited the Murdaugh family home called Moselle, where the murders of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh took place. More importantly, are the authorities and others keeping the families involved in some? For the University of Idaho reads in part, gifted the house to the university with the intent by both parties that it be demolished. Before doing so, we will complete remediation within the house to address biohazards and chemical hazards that exist as a result of the crimes and ensuing investigation. Adding, at the completion of the remediation, we intend to have the team gather any items of personal property that do not appear to be contaminated and transfer them to university personnel who will take these items to a secure off-site location for representative members of the families to review and recover items of your family members that you wish to keep. We intend to proceed with demolition as soon after completion of the remediation as can be done. We do not have a specific date for when this will occur. We'll notify you of the demolition date in advance so you're not caught surprised by media reports. The university has said the sooner they demolish the house, the better, and they plan to have it knocked down by the end of the semester, which according to the university's academic calendar, graduation's on May 13th. Now, Bryan Kohberger is not due to be back in court until June for his preliminary hearing, so by then, the house could be gone. But there are questions over whether this speedy removal of the home, which is a crime scene, is a good idea. Some say the house should stay up throughout the trial. It's a key piece of evidence, and as News Nation first reported last night, the parents that we spoke to seem to want the house to stay up, at least for now. But others argue that a virtual tour of the property will be sufficient for a jury to see in weighing the case. Remember.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to go back that far, but they've had this house for 18 weeks. As of like right now, almost 18 weeks. So they have had this house way longer than most crime scenes are held. And they have way better than a virtual tour. Don't let Dan Abrams freaking fool you on this one, because we did a video over it. The 3D imaging. I'm trying to think of the name that the brand that they use. Faro, I think it's called FARRO or something like or FARO. But they use 3D scanners that they will scan every piece of hair and everything. And it is like better than an actual picture. It is a 3D like image that you can see on a computer. And it's better than even these, Zillows and stuff like that, because the cops are doing it. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. Faro. Yes, Arlene. I was like, I could see the picture in my head. I was like, but yeah, Yeah, exactly 6 months. Man, it doesn't feel like that long though, to me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I don't think it really has felt like it's been 6 months.
In the recent Alex Murdaugh double murder case, before the trial wrapped, the jury visited the Murdaugh family home called Moselle, where the murders of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh took place. More importantly, are the authorities and others keeping the families involved in some of the difficult choices that need to be made? They are victims too in this. And understanding what they are going through and what their desires are has to be taken into account. Joining me now is Bryan, News Nation senior national correspondent who has been covering this story from Idaho and been on the beat from the start. All right, Bryan, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. So first, let me ask you broadly, are the families satisfied with how involved they have or haven't been in some of the major decisions that have been made in the last month or so?
It's a good question. I think it depends on what day you ask different family members. I think there's been some frustration along the way that they haven't always been kept in the loop. But overall, I think lately they do feel like they are getting at least most of the information that they want. It does appear you read that letter. I mean, the university sent them that letter before putting out publicly the details of how they were going to demolish the house. So they were trying to let them know first. We know that they're in touch with the prosecutor about different things going on behind the scenes. For example, when all those search warrants were released a couple of weeks ago, we know they let the families know what was coming out first. Hey, this is going to be made public. It's going to be in the news. So I think they're trying to keep them in the loop. But obviously, there are things going on with the investigation, especially with the gag order, that they're just not telling anyone right now.
What do you make of the university's comment about returning to them any personal property that isn't contaminated? What does that even mean? Does that mean that it was somehow destroyed? I mean, what are they talking about?
Yeah, so when I was outside the house early on, at one point they brought out a lot of the personal items that belonged to the victims. And that was one of the saddest things, covering this, because you saw, just like golf clubs and makeup and everything that a college kid would have in their apartment. They brought out the front door, put into a U-Haul that the police chief was actually driving, and then the families of the victims were able to come and gather those items. So I know they already have those items. I mean, I don't want to get too graphic, but the way I sort of read that letter is, there's still stuff in the house that's contaminated just because it was such a gruesome crime scene. So they're sending in this cleaning crew first.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider.
Okay. I might have to buy me a 3D printer now. Isabel said we should send Kohberger a hamburger. Kohberger needs a burger while he's in jail. I don't know if this is the video or if I saw it on something else, but someone was talking about how they couldn't believe that they're catering to his vegan meals, vegan diet. I really don't think that they're really catering to his vegan diet. I think they're just not giving him a meat for the day and probably just like extra in his vegetables. I don't think they're specially preparing a meal for him. An Impossible Burger. There we go. I think that's a good idea. Is this the one? I can't remember. Where was I at? Something new just came out too, I think. So I'll have to look. See what it is. See what it says. Let's see, actually. We'll skip this one, I think. Yeah. Actually, we'll watch this one. We'll watch this one too. Yeah, we can watch this one. Someone actually was saying too, they're mentioned, I don't know where I saw this, might have been a Reddit post or something. And I never thought about it, but what about him having his attorney? You like see my fan out here. Having like a female attorney, because people were saying, maybe if he was like an incel or if he had like, something against women. Give him crackers and toilet water. There you go. Summer, that's the best diet. That's diet for him. Well, I think he sleeps with his head next to the toilet. So yeah, it could work for him. So this video is Ashley Banfield. She talked with a couple of podcasters. I can't remember the one girl. She's on one of the a YouTube channel. I can't remember her name though. They just talk about, going and taking the jury to the actual crime scenes and stuff like that. And then the ones that we were mentioning earlier, Casey Anthony, OJ, Moselle, to name a few, are some of the crime scenes that they will go and visit. But if they end up like doing something crazy where they put out an order and they do keep the house until the trial and then they let the jury go in there, I hope at least it's on camera. At BK, you can have it your way. Well, over here at TitaniumBuilt, you can have it your way too. Just got to give me a 3D printer. We'll 3D print him some tomatoes and some onions and some whatever he wants on there. Maybe some bacon, add some bacon to it. He would like that, I bet. This one, is this from hold on a second. Hold on, Ashley. Did you change your shirt? She sure did. So this is from 21 hours ago. Oh yeah, she only did one segment last night on Bryan. And that's why I'm like, hold on a second. Why does he sleep with his head by the toilet? So how the cells, I guess, are set up, they showed it on News Nation one night. You either have to sleep with your head towards the door, like where there's bars, I guess, and people can almost reach you, or you sleep on the other side by the toilet. And we were thinking he probably slept by the toilet. But very strange, to say the least. I wonder if he's lost any weight since he's been in jail or if he's gained weight. You never know. Sometimes jail does great things for people. It's very strange to me.
Also got news this week from University of Idaho. They sent a letter to the parents of the kids who were killed at 1122 King Road with the plans for demo and also for retrieving items. And a lot of people were upset about it. Because some people think that there should be maybe a jury view opportunity. I want to bring in Lauren Matthias. She's the host of the Hidden True Crime podcast, and Tony Bruschi, who's the host of the podcast Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. This is viewer theories, guys. And so the very first theory I want to throw to is Gina Feddersen from St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, who wants to have a comment about what I just mentioned. So take a look.
Hi, Ashley. In regard to the Bryan Kohberger case, I don't feel that the home should be demolished. We should respect the family's wishes, as many of them have come forth in opposition of that. Let's wait until June. Let's see what happens in June, what information is uncovered and shared, and take it a step at a time.
So, Lauren, some family members agree, some family members don't agree. What do you think about what Gina has to say?
I think she makes a solid point. I mean, why not wait maybe until the trial? At the same time, though, I think there are so many students that would like to move on, and the idea of perhaps a memorial garden or something that could bring a little bit more peace to the campus might be a good thing for the students.
Okay, Tony, this next one comes from Amber Getze in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it's actually more of a question, so let's have a listen.
Hi, Ashley. My name is Amber, and I was just wondering, with Bryan Kohberger not having much human contact, do you think that Professor Ramsland has reached out to him about a possibility of a book? And do you think that maybe he's agreeing to talk with her? Or do you think maybe he's just waiting, or she's waiting until after the trial, so no information hurts him before then?
Super interesting. Tony, what do you think? Dr. Ramsland being the famous criminologist, what do you think?
There could be the possibility of the book, but I would imagine at this point, if there is that in existence, that's going to get shut down very quickly, or any proceeds of that book going to the direction of any sort of victims or things of that nature once this gets settled. But there will inevitably be many books about this case at the end of the day. As far as what Kohberger is involved in, I think that's still, kind of up in the air.
All right, I'm going to end with Lisa from East Lansing, Michigan. This is her comment on Kohberger's defense. Take a listen.
Hey, Ashley. I think Bryan will try and explain away any DNA evidence by saying he was previously in the house for a party, but he'll never admit guilt even if it becomes completely obvious he did it.
I think that is such a great point. Lauren Mathias and Tony Bruschi, I cannot wait to see what opening statements are in this case, because it's going to be intriguing no matter what. Thank you both for this Friday night appearance, and I hope to see you again soon.
Do you guys think, what do you think Kohberger is going to do? I mean, I wonder what his plan of action is. I wonder if he will get to court now that he's seeing the evidence that's against him, because, he said he was going to come back and clear his name. I can't remember the exact word. I'm trying to think of the word he used, which wasn't a good word to use. But he was going to, come and clear his name. I wonder if he still thinks that way. If he's still thinking like that. Because he didn't see the evidence until he was probably here in Idaho. He probably knew. Exonerate. Thank you, Joe looking ass. That's the word I was looking for. Because exonerate means that you have to be actually convicted normally of something to be exonerated. So it was a very weird choice of words that he used. Yeah, you guys knew the word. I couldn't think of that word to save my life. But I don't know. I think that if I was innocent, I would be screaming it from the rooftops. That's just me, though. Who is she married to? I cannot think of the guy that she is married to. The girl with the perfect skin. She has good skin. Her husband is a doctor of some sorts. He's a big guy. Oh, let me see. Oh, look at her. Little squirrel. That's cute. Yeah, so Mountain Mama, we are going to stream it here. I said that was all the way in the beginning of the live, though, because Banfield likes me. She doesn't cut my streams off or anything. So I was going to go ahead and stream that tomorrow because I was like, wow. I was like, they have they're going to have actual documentary type of deal. So I like it when they do that. What network? It'll be on News Nation. I have Spectrum. I don't know if it comes standard on Spectrum, but I have it on Spectrum channel 17, I believe. In case anybody doesn't want to watch it with us. Well, fine then. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So I did want to show you guys or play you guys just a couple more. I just have a couple more videos for you guys, actually. One of them is Nancy Grace. I know a couple of people saw this, but so it'll be 9 Eastern. Yep, Eastern Standard Time. Wait. Yeah, she said 9. Yeah, because she usually goes on at 10, but that's through the week. So yeah, 9 Eastern. That is so funny. Summer has 2 raccoons that come and eat her cat food. That's funny. I'd be mad. I'd be like, don't be eating my raccoons, don't be eating my cat food. Then the kitties won't get it. But yeah, I wanted to show you, because Nancy Grace goes over visual snow in one of her latest podcasts. It's the latest one that she's done on Bryan Kohberger. It's only 11 minutes long, so it's a short one. But I wanted to show you guys this, just to give everybody an idea of what visual snow is. It's only 1 minute and 22 seconds long. So that way we can all kind of get an idea of what visual snow is, because he may try to use, he can't use anything as a defense, but if he wants to try to say he has something mentally wrong with him, which you can't use mental defect or mental insanity defense, but you can try to talk your way out of something by saying like, oh, well, I have a mental handicap, instead of saying like, I'm insane, you know, the insanity defense. So. Exactly. A defendant who's found not guilty. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, not guilty. Okay. I thought it was to be exonerated of something would be like, let me see. See, mine says something different. Mine is saying exoneration is when a person who has been convicted of a crime is officially cleared after new evidence of innocence becomes available. So that's what mine says. That's crazy. Maybe they're both right. Let me see if I can. Like, I'll just share this with you. But yeah, you can see it right here. And then like an example, it says after years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit, the exonerated man walks out of the prison gates and into the light of day. Acquittal simply means the prosecution did not prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. And that would be like a not guilty. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, okay. Because I was like, man, I was thinking, did I get that wrong? Huh. Did I get that wrong? Okay, so I'll play this little video for you guys, and then we'll move on to the Nancy Grace.
Visual snow is a disorder where patients see a type of TV static in their vision. So it's almost like they have millions of tiny little dots in their vision all the time, and it's throughout their visual field.
Symptoms may involve flashes of light or seeing things that our brain is supposed to tune out, like eye floaters or after images.
Perhaps they'll look at a TV or some words on a piece of paper, and as they start to look away, they still see shadows left over, these after images, and it can almost create like a double vision or a feeling that words are moving when they're trying to read.
These types of symptoms can be distracting by themselves. However, some people also suffer from additional symptoms, such as dizziness, headaches, or ringing in the ears. While many people who experience visual snow are born with it, there can be secondary causes.
Some patients might notice this coming on after an event, like a head injury or a really severe infection or illness.
There's not yet a treatment for visual snow, but there are ways to treat the symptoms associated with the disorder.
We can work on different types of visual therapy and work with visual filters to try to reduce the severity, to make it easier for them to read, easier for them to function.
For the Mayo Clinic News Network, I'm Dee Dee Stephen.
I hope that doesn't. Okay, it doesn't look like it's going to play anything else. So, okay, that's good. If you guys are just now joining us, we are going over the Idaho 4 case. We're going over visual snow. That's what we're moving into from what we were talking about earlier, which was, them releasing the crime scene, the officers releasing the rest of the property to the students, the victims, and the survivors. And tomorrow, if you guys weren't here in the beginning of the live, tomorrow we're going to stream the Idaho 4 News Nation's doing a special at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be here for that. Also, if you guys wouldn't mind liking the video, that does go a long way. And don't forget to make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. We are almost at 7,200 subscribers. That's so awesome. I love that. You guys make my job so much easier. You really do. I love being a creator. It makes it nice when you have a really good chat. And the only person that's been out of control tonight is Isabel. But that's usual. That's usual, though. She keeps it funny. She keeps it exciting. And then Teresa, Summer keeps it exciting, too. And then Teresa, our other mod, she's usually in here. She'll slide in. She's like Mother Teresa. So if you ever need a shoulder, I feel like she's the one. She's always like the mother. She's the motherly one out of all of us. So I'm going to go ahead and play for you guys the Nancy Grace video here. She talks with Dr. Chloe Carmichael. She's a clinical psychologist about visual snow and if that could be like a good defense for Bryan. Or not really a defense, but like an excuse, I would try to say. And it is only 11 minutes long, so it's not that long. And it's less than that because in the beginning there's like 3 minutes of commercials. So I'm going to fast forward through the commercials. I guess my work here is done, class clown. That's so funny. That's the best, though. We have like equal parts. I love our groups. Let me fast forward. This is going to be a little
Going
loud.
back to school.
Mom,
Sorry.
Dad, feliz cumpleaños.
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace.
In the last hours, we learned that accused killer Bryan Kohberger is detailing his visual snow battle in posts. What is a visual snow syndrome? Why is there a battle? And my immediate concern is, can he somehow use this at trial as a defense? With me, renowned psychologist, clinical psychologist, Dr. Chloe Carmichael, best-selling author of Nervous Energy, Harness the Power of Your Anxiety, and you can find her at drchloe.com. Dr. Chloe Carmichael, thank you for being with us. What is visual snow syndrome?
Hi, Nancy. Good to be with you as well. So visual snow syndrome is a visual hallucination in which, you might be seeing kind of like when you watch TV and there's a poor connection, they call it snow. When you might see a little bit of an overlay like that around you. One thing I do think that's interesting about Bryan asserting that he struggles with this is that I believe he actually is also has described himself, I think, as a former heroin addict, if I'm not mistaken. And actually, visual snow can be a side effect sometimes of some of the brain changes that can occur with serious long-term drug use. So I can't help but wonder if there could be a connection there.
Dr. Chloe Carmichael weighing in. I understand that Kohberger actually writes about his so-called battle with visual snow syndrome. And I'm trying to find out about it. Is it not some rare neurological condition?
It's definitely very rare, and you're absolutely correct to tie it to the brain, which again is why in some cases it's actually associated with drug use. As for him saying that he's had a battle with it, personally, I would be curious to know if he actually went and ever requested or received treatment for it. Because,
what does it do to you, Dr. Chloe?
Well, I mean, certainly it can obviously be annoying and frustrating. There can be anxiety and depression that just, come from having this visual snow effect, happening wherever you're going. There's not a lot of research that's actually been done about it. But, again, with his drug use, we don't really know a lot about, or at least I don't know a lot about, what kind of treatment he may have received post-drug use. Because people don't, when they become a drug addict, a serious drug addict of heroin, as I believe was the case in his situation, they're running from something. They're trying to escape something. There's an unresolved issue. But if you just stop the drug use, but you don't deal with the underlying issue, then you're kind of like what they call a dry drunk, right? You may have stopped the drug use, but you haven't dealt with the underlying issue.
So let me understand, Dr. Chloe. So in your regular life, for instance, right now, as I'm looking at the camera, I would see a snowy field like I'm looking at a bad reception screen on the TV.
Yes.
So in your regular life,
And
is it constant or does it come and go?
They say that it can come and go and that it can especially tend to arise during periods of stress or anxiety, and that it can also be associated with migraines.
You know what? It's reminding me of those people that have tinnitus. They have a constant sound in their ear like all the time, 24/7,
It's
365?
associated with tinnitus.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just thought of like this constant thing, this buzzing, and this snow syndrome, visual snow syndrome, sounds like something that's constant that may come in and out. And you're saying it can be exacerbated during stressful moments?
Yes, that is what, is said about it, though I would say again that there's limited research on it because it is so rare.
Let me ask you this. In your experience, guys, I'm talking to Dr. Chloe Carmichael, renowned psychologist, and you can find her at drchloe.com. Dr. Chloe, do you believe that I'm thinking of the trial? I'm already like 5 steps ahead of this, thinking, how can he use this? Because he reportedly starts complaining about it at age 17, which is around the time, as you accurately pointed out, Dr. Chloe, that friends or associates of his have stated that he used heroin and then got clean. So can he use it somehow at trial? Question to you, Dr. Chloe, have you ever heard of a theory where the visual snow syndrome incites violence?
No, I personally never have, and I actually think that it would be a real sneer and very detrimental if he were to suggest that somehow because of his visual snow syndrome or because of him being a recovering addict, that in any way should be a rationale for him committing these brutal murders. Because what is that saying about innocent people everywhere that may have visual snow or who may be in recovery? There's really no justifiable reason why those things would lead to him becoming a homicidal maniac.
Dr. Chloe Carmichael, you're so pure. Have you ever heard of the Twinkie defense? Because you're saying, how could someone dare use visual snow syndrome as a defense? The Twinkie defense, I committed murder because I had too many Twinkies, or the PMS defense, I was crazy because I was having cramps and I was just angry that day. I could absolutely...
Well, that would only contribute to the fact, the idea of him being an entitled and grandiose person who likes to think that there's something about him that's special that would justify him being able to do things that other people would not. And I agree with you. People can indict a ham sandwich and they can say a Twinkie made them do it, but that doesn't mean it's true.
You know what? You're so right, Dr. Chloe. I'm just wondering if somehow he can twist this thing, if not at trial, because to use a defense like that is kind of like an insanity defense or an alcohol defense. You'd have to say, yes, I did it, but I did it because I was incited by visual snow syndrome. I don't think that's going to happen, but I could see it at mitigation, him saying, okay, I did it. It's been proven. You found me guilty, but this is why I did it, because of visual snow syndrome.
I don't see how that could be personally, because, again, it is a visual hallucination, but this was a premeditated situation. It's not even like he was just, sitting somewhere and then suddenly a powerful hallucination came upon him and he thought he had to reach out and stab, because he was fighting a hallucination. This appears to have occurred completely independently of hallucinations, at least from what I can tell.
Okay, you're onto something right there yet again, Dr. Chloe, because it would not have been an immediate act like a delusion or an uncontrollable impulse, because he had to plan this out. He stalked them. He made contact with them online. He had to drive over there in the cover of darkness. He wore all black. He brought in a weapon, and then he took an alternate route home, only turning his cell phone on once he had left the premises. All of that, as you're saying, is premeditation and not a sudden impulse or delusion.
A reaction to a hallucination, exactly.
So bottom line, you could tell a jury in full confidence, Dr. Chloe Carmichael, it ain't true. It didn't happen. It's not because of visual snow.
Yeah, I would say in my opinion, I would not see an association or a justification there. Correct.
Okay, and I'd also be interested, Dr. Chloe Carmichael, did he ever seek neuro rehabilitation? Did he ever get treated for it? Or is he just like talking out of his rear end, technical legal term. Another thing that may actually trigger more of his visual snow is that it's just been announced Bryan Kohberger could face the firing squad there in Idaho because of the shortage of the lethal injection medicines. Okay, could something like that, a traumatic revelation, trigger the visual snow syndrome? And don't get me wrong, Dr. Chloe, I don't care. He killed 4 people, 4 innocent people. If he sees static in front of his eyes, I'm not that concerned, but would something like that revelation trigger his visual snow syndrome?
Well, I would certainly see where it could, since we know that visual snow can be triggered by stress, and I can see where that would cause him stress, certainly. Though, like you said, I mean, if indeed he is guilty, then he would deserve to feel a certain amount of discomfort about what may be coming. And as to your point as well about the battling part, if he really had been battling this, I would certainly be curious to see if he'd ever sought any treatment. It appears that he spent the bulk of his time trying to, study criminal sciences and, potentially prepare his knowledge so that it could become a cover for him. Is what it appears, more so than that he was earnestly seeking treatment and trying to make sure that he never became a danger to anybody. It certainly doesn't appear that way.
Well, Dr. Chloe, I agree with you. This is absolutely no defense. And of course, learning he may face his firing squad could trigger it behind bars. And then it will be documented behind bars that he did have another bout, a recurrence of visual snow syndrome. Will it work with the jury? Probably not. And I agree with you, Dr. Chloe Carmichael, again, that is not a reason to incite violence, much less a well thought out spree killing. Of course, keeping in mind the Twinkie defense and the PMS defense, you never know what's going to happen. And this is the first time, let me say on the record, I have ever considered visual snow syndrome to somehow be a trial tactic. But we wait. As
I don't know what happened there. That was like a weird little glitchy thingy. I heard that somewhere super Greek, but I don't know. I didn't watch Lana today. But I swear I heard that they sent it somewhere, but I can't remember. So I didn't bring it up because couldn't confirm it. But yeah, you guys are all right in the chat. Wow, I didn't realize that we had this many people that were had this much in common. But yeah, I don't agree with people that aren't. I don't agree with creators that aren't good to their subscribers or only good to some of them. And yeah, Summer, I remember. So yeah, so someone came in one night and was like, I came over here from TNT, from her channel, and we were just like, what? Because I'm not a subscriber to her channel, so it was like, why would someone be in my chat from her channel? But I don't know. But it was very weird. But with my one eyeball, I didn't see it. But Summer did. She was like, check your email. So if there's any lurkers in here from TNT tonight, hello, hi, and welcome. We're nice. We're friendly over here. If you want to subscribe and talk to us, hang out with us. We're a little nuts every once in a while, but that's all right. And our chats do from time to time go in the complete opposite direction than what we are intending them to be. But other than that, we're good. I watched her, and then while I was listening one day, I was in the shower, and I heard she got a tent for the Idaho 4. My one eyeball, yeah. So she got a tent for the Idaho 4 trial. She's going to camp out there. She's going to camp. So she says she's got a grill. I don't know. I don't know. Well, thank you, Ellie. I appreciate that. I feel, when I heard the tent thing, I almost ruined, it was like my phone or my iPad because the water damage was about to be there. Because I was like trying to just get it off of there. I was like, if I listen to another second of this, I'm going to fly off the handle. And I'm one of those people, I'm really genuinely good person. But if you say something that's just off the wall and some bullshit and it's a lie and it's a downright lie, I can't help my fingers go. Like, I am one of those keyboard warriors they call you, whatever. I'll be like, I'm one of those. I'm bad about it. But with Vincent usually will get up earlier and go. I think I don't know if he still does it, but he was like, he would go through my comments for me. And then he'd be like, Tanya, this one, I'm not sure about this comment. And he would tell me how to say it. Cause I'm not good with my words sometimes, if that makes sense. I'm from Philadelphia originally. And if anyone's from the Pennsylvania, even just the state, they know that we're very, we just can't keep our mouths shut. We can't. I'm not covering the Daybell trial as of right now, but I may. I'm going to do updates and stuff, though. Howard Bloom, that's what it was. It was what's his face? Tyler Feller. That's why I was late tonight. It's like, sorry, guys. That's why I was late. So you know how I was 5 minutes late to come in on the live? Hold on. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. Oh, did you guys hear that cat? Like, okay. Sometimes my dog will like, I have a pit boxer and she plays with the cat, but she's extremely gentle. But sometimes he'll say no, and he like will kind of like meow at her. But this just sounded like a cat was dying, like getting like mauled or something. I'm sorry, my heart is pounding. I thought that the dogs jumped on Rocky or something. My cat, he's my baby. He's 14. But, that's why I ran out there so fast. And Vincent's out there. He was just like, what? And I'm like, did you hear that? Oh my God, where's Rocky? So, did you hear it, Elliot? Because you might have been able to hear it. If you're blind, you probably could have heard it. Like, wow. I hope that cow was okay. You're from PA. See, from PA. You have Huckleberry said the same thing. It's my parents. Oh, and New Jersey's the same. I was about to say that. I was about to say Jersey's the same because if you're from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, you're from Jersey. If you're from Philadelphia, you're from Jersey. That's how I was raised like that. My parents were from Philadelphia. They were always on the Jersey Shore growing up. So, it was always like when they talk about one place, they talk about the other, almost in the same breath. Zero filter over here too. I love that. Is Bryan near the cat? No, thank God. Oh man, that really made my heart go. Because he is my baby. Like, I told you guys the story last night about when I thought he almost was killed. Like, I thought the cat was killed and I was screaming in my yard, my baby. I'm like, he's like my most prized possession. He's not a possession, but I mean, I don't have anything for 14 years. We had a fire probably about 14 years ago. No, I lied because Rocky was older. So we had a fire about 11 years ago. So I lost everything in the fire. So literally other than the cat, he got out. Me, my mom, and the cat. Yeah, my blood pressure's up. Okay. I'm glad everyone can tell my blood pressure's up. But yeah, I'm okay now. But that's really scared me. And I know Vincent would never let the cat, like, anything happen to the cat. But, I hope that kitty outside's okay, though. I wonder what would be out there. Like, there's no dogs out there. Yeah, so it was Tyler Feller. That's who said it. Tyler Feller. The Bloom guy, he's a writer. So I don't know how much he would know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much details he would actually know. Like, I don't know where he got that information from. Oh, and that's the truth. I don't even know what you're talking about, but that's the truth. All things A to Z. Yeah, it was one of those days. We'll have to do a mental health live. I'll have to tell you about my fire someday. It was not a good day that day. I don't ever recommend ever having a fire. Do I think he's lying? I don't think he's lying per se. I just don't know how much he knows. Like, I don't know how much, like, the Howard Bloom, is that Howard Bloom? Yeah. How much he knows about the inner workings of the inside of the case. Like, he writes for, like, an article, just like if it were, like, the People magazine or just something like that. That's what if I'm correct anyway. What happened to Isabel? Damn, just fell off the bed trying to catch the dog from falling off the bed. That sounds like me. And Tyler does. I don't watch him, but he does do that. His super chat train is one I've never seen before. Someone was talking, okay, so someone said something about frogging, but what we were talking about was, what I was thinking when you guys said frogging was when you, like, you know, like scalpel or whatever it's called, like where you can jump from building to building, not where you live inside of a building, but that's what someone was talking about that in the chat though. I don't watch normally. It came on my For You today. So I saw that and I was like, what do you mean? Because it said the clickbait titles are just, the clickbait titles are everything, you know, they're just life. And so it was like, no DNA found on the knife sheath or something like that. And so I was like, it was 11 minutes long. I can even tell you, because I remember, I swear I have photograph memory. It was like 11:27 long. And I had 5 minutes to get on the live. So I was like, oh, I'm going to need to double this and just be a little late on the live. Oh, no, that wasn't my cat. Oh, no, Patty, that wasn't my cat. No. My cat was fine. I heard another cat. I think that was like an outdoor cat or something. Like in the woods. No, not my baby. Oh, no, if that was my baby, we wouldn't be alive right now. If that was my baby, we would be wherever we needed to be, getting that baby whatever he needed, however much it cost. If we needed to sell houses, cars, my soul. Yeah, no, not my baby. Really? Your cat screams? My cat doesn't. He did that the other day. He ate too much and he just was like, I'm going to go and hang out over here. And that's what we know. And, yes, use Christianity sells products. Yeah. That's one thing. You'll never see that in my boutique. I own a boutique. So a lot of boutique owners, that's what they do. I'm spill the beans. They literally, they will say, they will put all this biblical stuff in their stores, like little signs, little cards, little this, little that. Next time you're at a boutique store, check it out. Little bracelets, something. And I'm very spiritual, and that's like my own thing, you know? And I feel like I don't need to push that onto other people. Like that's my own thing. I don't know. When it comes to YouTube, I mean, I guess I feel that's your thing, but that's just not me. Yeah. He went skiing and snowboarding. Wow. Oh yeah. He's like, let's start the super chat train. I've seen him do that before. And I'm like, whoa, wait, hold on a second. How do you do that? He's a good salesman. I'll give him that. No, he really is a good salesman though. That's what I think it is. Like, cause he sells coffee or something too. I'm like, huh. My cat has sneaky cancer. Oh no. You just now had to do that? Just recently? Oh, I'm so sorry, Patty. It is hard to lose an animal. It is. It really is. I don't really buy too much of the stories either about Bryan. Yeah, the super sticker train. Is anybody going to outbeat them? I don't know. I think this last video I was going to show you guys, and then we just started talking. So, I think this is just about the visual snow, though. So, I'll play this one, and then we will chit-chat it up before we get off here.
Let me start with you. Could this become part of his defense legally?
I think so, Dan. Absolutely. If we look at what the criminal complaint has charged Here, the state has charged in counts 2 through 5, the first-degree murder charges related to each of the victims in this case. The prosecution has used the language willfully, deliberately, premeditation, and with malice aforethought. And so what Idaho law tells us, what the court tells us, is that state of mind evidence is always relevant when it goes to one of the necessary elements of the crime. So the defense certainly has to jump through some hoops here. And it's certainly, if they raise the issue of a mental condition for the purposes of a defense, it absolutely opens up Kohberger to examination by the state's experts. But under the charging language, the prosecution elected to utilize in counts 2 through 5,
right.
It absolutely opens them up.
Look, Bryan, look, in a lot of cases, right, the defendant has some mental issues, right?
Yeah.
And very often the defense attorney will say, you know, I think that my client has serious condition, concern, but it doesn't rise to the level of, for example, insanity. And is it somehow going to work to his advantage that Idaho doesn't actually have an insanity defense, and so he can sort of sneak in using this other kind of language to present as part of his defense?
I'm going to say it as yes and no, because you can sneak it in and bring it in by saying, I'm not really talking about insanity. I'm talking about his mental state. Does he have the ability to knowingly and willfully commit this crime? It's like analogizing if I sneezed as a reflex. I hit you as I sneeze. Did I intentionally hit you? No, it's a reflex. And that's what they're going to try to use his mental diagnosis. But they can't use it as they would in an insanity defense because that's not there. It's the difference between saying, do you willfully intentionally do this, or can you avoid criminal responsibility?
But in so many states, the insanity defense is really right from wrong. Not every state, but a lot of states, it's did the person understand right from wrong? And it would be very hard to say that this kind of condition would prevent you from understanding, for example, right from wrong, right?
Yeah, so it's a little bit more specific than that. I think New York does a fabulous job of an analogy. If you've ever seen a child sing a song that they probably have no business singing, they can sing and recite the lyrics, but they can't appreciate what that song actually means. That's the insanity defense. Just because I can sing the lyrics to this song, if I don't really know what my mom would call grown folk music, that's the kind of the insanity defense. But here, it's not whether you can sing or appreciate the wrongfulness or rightfulness of the actions. It's, do you have that mental capacity to understand what willful is? And it's a lot more hoops to jump through.
But Edwina, if that's the case, that seems to me then that Idaho law actually works enormously to his advantage by not having a specific definition of insanity, which in most states, and I would think in Idaho in particular, that kind of state would have a tough standard, right, to achieve, to say, this will rise to the level of being an insanity defense. Does it help him?
I think if they can meet the statutory threshold, and what is important about this is the defense doesn't get to sneak this in. This isn't a trial tactic. Under Idaho law, the defense has to put both the court and the prosecution on notice 90 days, at least 90 days in advance of the trial, that they intend to raise this defense.
Right. When I said sneak it in, I didn't mean like literally they weren't going to tell anyone. I meant sort of legally sneak it in, meaning as opposed to just going directly and saying, my client is legally insane. Because Idaho doesn't have this insanity law, what I meant by sneak it in was they can use the language of the statute in Idaho to kind of use a back door to effectively make the same argument.
Correct. I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting that there is this condition that is new. How would that play in the fact that it's not a sort of well-known condition? You'd have a major battle of the experts here, right?
Yeah, it's not like PTSD where many of us know that. I don't even need to tell you what the acronym is.
Right.
But you've got to lay the groundwork for what this is, just like you did in your show here. You tell us what
I'd never heard of this condition.
You show us you tell us what it is, you show us the example, you show how it could affect, and you do the little bits and pieces.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below.
Okay. I just gifted out 5 memberships, so hopefully you guys got a membership if you wanted one. We're going to try to like gift out at least one, like, or like 5, or like one night, one night, 5 one night. I don't know. We're just going to do them because I like to have members and I like to do members lives and I want to start doing more of them. So yes. Plus I like to do it. I really like to do it because so as a creator, we can't even do so I can't like gift them just to gift them. Like we have to you have to buy them just like you would buy them. And then we can't even gift them to certain people. Like if I wanted to gift one to Vincent, like my boyfriend, for instance, I can't pick his name out. Like it just goes to whoever's been like in the chat and stuff. Oh, thank you, Frank, for the $5. I appreciate that. Well, look at that. We got a little super train going on, or super chat train going on up there. Oh, man. And Patty, I am so sorry to hear about your cat. That makes me so sad. I really am so sorry. They are like your children. That's why I ran out of here like that. I'm surprised I'm still breathing. But if my mom would have recorded me the evening that I did think that my cat died. Oh, and speaking of which, I told you that story and I didn't even tell you the rest of it. My cat ended up not dying. So I'll tell you this story really quick since we're here. But I was driving home one night and I thought, well, I did see a cat. I saw a cat that was passed away on the road. And I drove around it and I was thinking in my head, man, that looked like Rocky. Just like my cat. But my cat's an indoor cat, I was thinking. Soon as I walk in the house, my mom tells me, I can't find Rocky. I think he's outside. I literally was in the front yard screaming like my cat, my cat, my cat, my baby. I mean, screaming and crying. Like I don't even know where those emotions came from. I've lost my father and my mother at this point in my life. And I still think I cried thinking that the cat was dead. Rocky. Oh, thank you so much, Pamela. That's so nice for the $49.99. Thank you so much for the $50. That's so sweet. So that night, oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you, Jan. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so nice. Well, look at that. Maybe Rocky needs to fake die more often. But no, so my cat ended up, so that night I cried myself to sleep. I mean, to the point where the next morning my eyes were like, they wouldn't open. They were shut. And I've never cried that much. And like I said, I've lost parents and I've cried. I mean, I've cried. This cat, I thought my whole world was over. So the next night, the next morning, it's like 6 a.m. My mom comes in my bedroom and she's like, Tanya, wake up. And I couldn't get my eyes open. I was, so upset. And she was like, I think I heard Rocky outside. And I shot up like a spring chicken, and I'm like, what? She's like, outside. I think, so the night before, my mom had collected the cat off the road. I forgot to tell you that part. She collected this dead animal because we thought it was Rocky. She put him in a blanket, put him in the garage. We were going to bury him and all that stuff, we were going to bury this cat we found on the road. Yeah, the next morning, my dad's garden would get these weeds in it after he passed away. We would never trim that part. And I see a tail. And would you freaking know it? It was Rocky. I grabbed him and I picked him up almost by his tail because I was so excited. I was didn't know what I was seeing. And so if my mom was still alive, we would still be laughing to this day almost about it because my mom was like, whose cat's in the garage then? Because we literally had someone, because we couldn't just leave that animal on the road. We thought it was our animal. So he didn't end up dying. The cat was still alive. So if he dies for a second time, I told him, no tears, Rocky. No, I would cry so much, but he's my baby. I have 2 dogs. I love my girls. I love them more than anything. I'm with them 24/7 normally, but my cat's just my cat. So I can relate, Patty. I would be a mess, but I'm glad that you're not doing too bad now. And tell your daughter that it does get better. It does. I don't I don't know how. I don't know how it does. Yeah, like, but losing an animal, I feel like after it takes about a month or so, you know. Then you can, I don't know. I feel like then you can start to kind of move on, and you can always do things and like not replacing them, of course, but like in remembrance of them. Like we have so many little like pictures and stuff of our dog around and stuff. So, oh, thank you, Cujo. Oh, I like your name. Oh, and I like your doggy. That's cute. Cujo, I like the name. And we're talking about dogs too. And you have a dog as your picture. I'm trying to read your guys' chat. Yeah, he was gone all night. He was gone. He was out. I should go get him and bring him in here right now just so you guys could see him because he's my best friend. I was going to see if I could, I don't even know if I got a picture of him on my phone. I don't have any pictures other than of like kids that are missing or crime scenes, or it's really that bad that I don't have any of my own animals. Oh, there is the dogs. None of the cat. Oh. Let me see if I can show you this one. This was these are our old floors and our old stuff, but look at this. I have a Weimaraner. She's about 80 pounds, and look at this dog intimidating her. Oh, you can see it, but in the beginning, like this little dog, I don't know if you can see it, but that little dog that's outside was intimidating her so bad. Crazy dogs. But I don't have a picture of my cat handy. He'd be mad if I went and got him too. Yeah, Rocky he's pleasant, let me tell ya. He's an asshole. Let's be real here. Let's be real. He is straight. Like he knows what he wants, and if he wants it, he'll get it. He's worse than a dog. He'll follow you. If you say, "Come here, Rocky," he's like a dog, but he's my ass. Oh, you have a Millie 5-year-old Frenchie. 2 Shih Tzus that are brothers. Oh. My mom would tell you a cat have 9 lives, so you wouldn't use his hat. Okay, so that's what I say to my cat all the time, but he's down to like 4 now. He fell off the balcony a couple times. Just turned 12. Oh, wow. Wow, they're brothers. That'd be so cute. We wanted to do that. Well, I wanted to do that when we got our Weimaraner. Thank God we didn't. Because they were like the puppies were so cute, and I was like, oh my God, I want to get an extra one because Mia kept going in the cage with her brother, and I was like, wouldn't that be cute to have like a brother and sister? And we just gotten our other dog. We got 2 dogs within 2 months. I never recommend that ever to anybody. You have a 75-pound pit. Oh, that's a big pit. That's a big one. Is it like Blue Nose? Is it one of like the beefy bullies? My brother has those. He breeds he used to breed American bulldogs. Now he breeds pit bulls, but like the bully pits. They're big. They're huge. I can't believe he has that many dogs. Oh, if you miss it, no, oh no. No, not Miss Monroe. Your dog has to be the cutest. I can only imagine. You probably put little clothes on her and everything. I would if my dogs would let me. My dogs would not be down. Down to 4. Do you have any other animals, Patty? Do you have any more? Because like if you always can give that love to those other animals. You know what I mean? Like that's what we kind of. We lost our dog. We lost a dog. She just went. Like we don't know. Like we don't know what happened, but she was taken care of so well, and she was the perfect dog, and we loved her. Her name was Ella, and it just hasn't been the same since we've lost her. I still think of her all the time. Her pictures just came up on my Snapchat the other day. I was getting somewhere with the story, but I can't remember now. But so that's what we did. So when we lost our dog, Ella, we went out like that night and got a dog. We were just trying to fill a void. We know what we were doing. It wasn't a good idea. Looking back on it now. But I love my girls more than anything on this earth. Even though they're bad. They're so bad. They're so bad. You have 10 cats and 4 dogs? That sounds like me. If I had a house, that would be me. Actually, I can't have any more cats because I can only have Rocky. If I brought another cat in here, he would tear this whole place apart. You would never own a cat? And my partner and Anatolian, oh, I don't know that, Shepherd. Oh, I'll have to look that up. Is the absolute most incorrigible dog I've ever owned by far. Aw. I bet that's a beautiful dog. 2 house cats, Scorpion and Bumblebee. Aw. That's so cute. Sisters from another mister. Yeah, well, I think if you got one, you get them all. Oh, that's so cute. I love animals. I was that kid that brought all the dogs home in the neighborhood. If there was a stray dog, come to my house. And my thing was, I have a dog in the garage, Mom and Dad, but I'm not going to keep it. I said that twice. We kept them both. My dad named them 10 minutes in. He was the pushover. It was my mom. Because my mom knew she had to take care of them. We would say we take care of them. As kids, you say that. You don't do that. She has too many clothes and bows. I bet you she does. I bet you she's cute. I've always wanted a small dog that I could dress up. But unfortunately for myself, I guess, which is not, but I've always had large dogs. And the older I get, the bigger they're getting. Like, I don't understand. I went from a beagle to a pit boxer to a Weimaraner. We're all over the place here. Oh, I'm so glad you guys have animals. Because, animals are great. They are. They really are. I talk to my dogs more than I talk to Vincent. He's gone, during the day. So it's me and the girls. I'm like, people probably hear me in here talking to them. Like, they're probably like, who's she yelling at? Because I'm always like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Because the Weimaraner, she gets so excited at life. They both do. You leave the apartment for 2 minutes just to go down to the car, grab something, come back up. And it's like they're just like, here, we love you so much. We haven't seen you in ages. Pamela, you need a service dog? Aw. I always said I was going to make mine into service dogs. They are emotional support trained. I mean, they're not trained because you can't train a dog to be an emotional support dog. But they got a piece of paper that says that. That piece of paper came from my neurologist. That I just asked him. I said, can you print me up something for my dogs? And he was like, yeah, I can. What do you want it to say? And I was like, this is what I need. Because if you do have a service dog, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have a dog, you can register it through your doctor or something. You can ask your doctor to just ask your doctor. And they will probably most likely write you out a note just saying that it does help you emotionally, emotional support wise. And if you pay for rent at an apartment complex, there should be, if you have a pet fee, it should be waived if you have an emotional support animal. So you can get that $40, ours is $40 a month. Which we still pay it every month. And we have 3 animals. But I keep saying I'm going to take that paper down. I never do. It's been 6 years, 7 years. We live right by the clubhouse too. Oh, Bill. Chihuahua mixes, Lola and Simba. Oh. You missed a live earlier when I said I'm like a Chihuahua. I'm always on the go. So tomorrow night we are going to do our live over Idaho again. I'm going to stream the Banfield episode it's going to be the News Nation because they've never cut my stream. Knock on wood, because that happened that one night. My dog loves Chihuahuas. She does. I think it's because they're so small, she wants to eat them for breakfast. So because there was 2 that lived on the corner, around the corner from us, and she was always wanting them. He does kind of have Furby eyes. Scorpelina, you're right. I had a, and mine was gray. My Furby was gray too, like that. Look at old Dan. So I'm going to jump off of here. It's 11. It says it's time for me to stand, but I didn't work out today because today was my day off. I was like, I'm taking today off, which I just walk on the treadmill. If I could get away with a walk, I think I would get a walking pad if I could get away with it, but I think I'd fall on my butt if I didn't have something to hold on to. Me? Oh my Lord, thank you. Are you talking about me, my picture? Well, that's like the nicest compliment if that's to me ever. I always had a crush on the prince. But now I have a crush on the other prince. My crush went from William to his brother. I used to think that or it was not William. Yeah, William. I was thinking Charles, their dad. But I used to have the biggest crush on Prince William when I was like younger. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for staying over and just talking and just chit-chatting. Yeah, it was nice to meet you, Patty. Tell your daughter we're thinking of her. I'm going to go out there and just give Rocky a hug right now. Just because I'm like, I don't know where that cat was that I heard. But if I think I know what cat it is, that cat's cool. Like whatever was messing with it, it's the one that's not doing so good now. So I'm going to go and I'm going to actually check outside. I'm pretty sure Vincent did because I said it was outside. So he would go check. So thanks for having me. So Kathy said, thanks for having me, but thanks for having me. Thanks for coming. So you guys are awesome. I will see you guys all on the next live, which will be tomorrow night. Have a good weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a good weekend, but I'm sure I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good one. I will see you guys all in the next live. Bye, guys.